Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Soo, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Modesto Tacos Tequila Whiskey here in the corner of Burbank and Nicholson. Just a really, really short little jaunt over towards Tiger Stadium when LSU opens up their home season with Louisiana Tech next Saturday. And all season long here at Modesto, 0.9 miles from Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, we're going to be here today and tomorrow, so kind of getting ready for the campus. So from Mike Anderson's to Modesto to walk-ons, so we are going to be in the neighborhood before Friday.
They're going to feed you around here, so come by and see us for lunch. We got, the overcast skies. You want to sit out on the patio? It's not blazing hot today. You can come on inside here with us. A lot going on here as college football starts really in earnest tomorrow night. NFL Cutdown Day yesterday. We had a lot of that on the show before we finished, but a good many things happened after that. Ryder Cup team has been announced, and LSU's former LSU golfer Sam Burns is on the team. Oh, by the way, good morning and welcome to Live at Lunch. Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Charles Hannegriff, Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Glad to have you with us today. The announcement came from Kellen Moore not long after we finished the show yesterday that Spencer Rattler would be the starting quarterback for the Saints in their season opener against Arizona. And moving forward, Tyler Shook took it graciously. It was a pretty close competition, and they decided to go with Rattler, who has just a touch more experience. And so I waited for the reaction. It's been a few years, I guess, since Derek Carr came in. The starting quarterback job hasn't really been up for grabs. See what the kind of reaction would be. The reaction was kind of what my reaction was. Jimmy asked me at the end of yesterday's show, we were in the last segment, well, Star said, it Star Shook, but I didn't have a whole lot of conviction behind it. And I felt the same way if you said Rattler. I wasn't on the edge of my seat waiting for this decision. I don't know that there's a ton of difference. I don't think there's a ton of difference in the two of them right now. I don't know what the difference will be with them by, say, the middle of the season or the end of the season. Did Spencer Rattler in his his time last year really get a fair shake with what was on the field? Should be better off watching and waiting or playing through the inevitable early mistakes? I don't know. The whole thing had a very meh, kind of whatever. Go ahead and get along with it. And that's kind of how I felt yesterday. Are they better off? Do they have a better chance to win the opener with Rattler? Maybe, by just a little bit. But you didn't get going through camp, watching the preseason games, you didn't feel like the Saints have any real clear-cut starter, backup, any kind of clear path to, hey, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to be good. It's sort of like it's not Mr. Right, it's Mr. Right Now, and Mr. Right Now is Spencer Rattler. So that's the way they'll go with that. Max, your Cleveland Browns also kind of shook out their quarterback situation. That was the other one. How many were they going to keep? They moved Pickett out. Dylan Gabriel going to go number 2. Shadur Sanders made it at number 3. Joe Flacco's number 1. Who do you think should have been starting quarterback for the Saints? You have a strong opinion? I'm waiting for a strong opinion. Nobody has a strong opinion about this. I don't feel like anyway. It's kind of.
I think Rattler won the job based on all that we'd heard from camp. I know we only get to see the 3 preseason games, and it was pretty close in that instance. But everything from practice, especially early on, was Rattler won the job. I think this is better. You've got a tougher schedule to start the season. You let Rattler go, see what you have. More than likely, it's not going to work well, and then halfway through the season, you'll turn to Tyler Shuck at some point. And Tyler Shuck's agent even agreed with that. Said he tweeted out, "I like the plan" yesterday. So they're taking the high road on this. I think you give Rattler the chance to see if this is his team. More than likely than not, it's not going to work out, and they'll go to Shuck at some point and see what they got there.
What kind of chance does he have, given this offensive line has been knocked around pretty good with injuries in the preseason? We didn't know how good it was going to be to start with, if what we've seen out of Cesar Ruiz is he's going backwards. And Trevor Penning has got an injury that may or may not keep him out into the regular season. A rookie left tackle, a center coming back off of an injury, and a second-year tackle who had, I thought, a decent year. The grades may not reflect that, but a decent rookie year at left tackle, and is now moving back to his more natural position, his college position at right tackle. I don't know how good that group is. I don't know how good the running backs behind Alvin Kamara are, and I don't know how what this receiving core is going to look like when you get past the first 2. And I don't know who. And your top 2 tight ends are starting the season on the PUP list, so this would be challenging for any quarterback.
Would be challenging
for
is it
any? I mean, if Patrick Mahomes was a quarterback of this team, you'd be like, okay, go get him. But you're going to have a lot of challenges with this group.
No surprise. No.
And
I mean, what does it mean? So if Rattler goes in and he's likely to start, say 1-6, 2-7, somewhere in that range. Is he failed? Is he not performing? Not necessarily. I mean, we've got to be fair. I mean, the supporting cast is not great. The supporting cast early in the season might be a little bit closer than everybody is. That's why the lines are so tight. It's year to year. There's surprises and disappointments by teams. There's teams that lose their first couple of really close games or win their really first couple of games, close games, and kind of their momentum is created for the rest of the season according to that. But this was going to be a criteria. And what's it mean if it's just the opposite? Do you really think that Rattler or Shuck makes 1/2 of a game difference for this season? No. There's no line. There's no steam coming in on one side or the other, and it wouldn't be the same for either. Shuck is your quarterback for the future, so to me that's the most important thing, or could be the quarterback for the future. So that's the most important thing. What is the best path for him, not to ruin him, as we've seen some quarterbacks rushed into much higher drafted quarterbacks, much more highly graded quarterbacks. That doesn't mean they're better or will be, but that you can ruin them by rushing them in. So to me, hopefully, that's the biggest storyline here. You just want to get him a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more in there before we go to him. Because what's the odds that you're going to see Shuck at some point this season? Very strong. Very strong.
100%.
Okay? So that's the only thing. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
I mean, you're not worried about. We've seen enough of Rattler, although it's not tremendously fair to him, too. He just doesn't look like an NFL starting quarterback. Could he be a backup? Maybe. But, you cut him loose right now. I mean, would he be picked up? Another team?
Yeah, I think somebody would pick him up.
I'm actually sure of that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Rattler started games last year.
He has shown you enough, huh? That you're going to use a roster spot.
Yes.
You got to use an active roster spot.
There are some tough backup quarterbacks that still have jobs.
Oh, no argument there, but some of them have been cut,
Spencer
too.
Rattler's better than him. A lot of them.
And you base that on?
We saw enough from his 0-6 record last year.
No, I don't care about that.
Good,
I don't care.
Had nothing
you know that. I don't care about his record.
We saw
that's unfair. I can't hold that against him.
And he's young, and for what it's worth in the NFL, the stars from college recruiting.
Well, guess what? He might be, and he might not, because he's no lock to be have a roster spot on somebody's team.
I disagree, but that's fair.
Good.
The path that I think he would be picked up. I don't think he would.
Okay, 2 years. In 2 years, is he going to be on somebody's roster?
Oh, no, that's no guarantee.
Oh,
no,
that's really? Why?
Right.
Max has him.
Well,
that's not what you asked,
what Max said. What Max is saying is because he's young, people will take a chance on him in his second year. If he goes through and he's got basically a mishmash over 4 years, then you're not going to get another. Desmond Ridder got cut yesterday. Okay, Desmond Ridder got a chance his first year. He failed. He got another chance with another team. He failed. He got another chance with another team, and then 4 years later he's out of the league. That I think Rattler would have, even though he wasn't drafted as high as Ridder, would have something similar. This doesn't work out, he'll get another chance. I don't know if he'll get a third chance. That make any sense to you?
Well, he's going to have, say, if he gets 6 or 7 or 8 more starts this year, which is that fair? Is that the chalk?
Yeah,
that's the expectation.
Yeah.
Okay. He will have starting experience.
Right.
He will have 14 or 15 starts, which is valuable. So I can't, I can't deny that. But
there have been guys that have stuck on rosters.
Where is he? Where is he for? You want to rank you? We got all 32 starters.
He's 32.
Yeah,
he's 32.
Yeah.
Easton Stick has been on a team for 6 years. Okay, so
fair point.
The Drake May pattern last year, and I know he was a very high pick. They waited 5 games on him. Or they waited actually 4 games, and then they had a bye, and he got in, and he ended up playing in 12 games last season for New England. I could see something along those lines. If after 5 games, it may be longer than that, maybe 7 games, maybe 8
Give me
games.
a number. I mean, we don't have to be. I say 7. Do they have a bye close to that?
No, the bye's a little bit later in the season.
All right, I'll say 7.
Yeah, the early schedule. How many of these games? If we're going to say the Saints could win 3 games this year or 4 games this year, I think the total's 4.5 right now. So let's say 4. Or how many of these games are winnable? Realistically winnable? Could they beat the Cardinals in Week 1?
They can.
They can. Okay, I do. I give them a chance there. Can they beat the 49ers in Week 2?
Where?
In the Dome.
They can.
I'm gonna say that they'll.
I mean, I'm not betting on, but the 49ers projections are based a lot on their schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
They're a real mystery team. You heard Randy McKay, about a month ago say, that's fine, but this roster has taken a beating over the. This is not the same roster.
No, especially the offensive, the skill position guys.
But should they? Is it a Well, Purdy's carrying much more load. He's going to have to. He doesn't have that supporting
you don't
cast.
have Brandon Ayuk. You
okay.
have
3 years ago, it's okay to punt with those guys, man. It's okay to hand the ball off. You know what I mean? But
can they win at Seattle?
No.
I don't think so either. They certainly won't win at Buffalo.
No.
The next game is at home against the Giants. I think that's one of the more winnable games on the schedule. And then
they'll be underdog. I don't know if they're underdog right now, but they will be underdog.
They're favored in right now.
What's that?
The Giants?
See, the Giants
I thought it was the Jets.
It might be. They're
no,
close.
the Jets are the only game.
And that's like right before
December,
Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the first 6 games, and then at home against the Patriots. I think I give them a shot there. Okay.
Yeah, they could be 2-5.
That's at least 3 or 4 games that they have
6 or 7 you gave me.
2-4.
I gave you
6
6.
games.
Oh no, the games at home, those teams aren't world beaters.
No, none of them.
There are chances. Absolutely. Have we seen bigger up? Yeah. So you might, if you want to split them, which I don't think I might, even though I'll say the percentage is a little bit lower for San Francisco than some others because they do have continuity in the staff and the quarterback position. There's a little bit more dependability within their roster than the upstart Patriots, the Giants, who I think are going to be better, but still don't know. And the Cardinals. I mean, they made some nice moves in the offseason, but Kyler Murray, you don't know what you're getting game to game in him. They have no clue.
No, I agree. The Patriots turned it over to Drake May in Week 6 last year.
Were they 1-5?
And he's the game over in London where he played just a little bit, and then he took over as a full-time starter after that.
Wouldn't you ideally want to start Shuck in a home game? I think that's when you try to kind of aim for a move there.
Well, yeah.
Because then you think after 5 weeks, they got a home game against the Patriots. After 7 starts for Rattler, they've got a home game against the Buccaneers. I think that's ideally where you would do it.
I think the fact that we're sitting here going, okay, Rattler's a starter, and we're fine with him. Okay, when are we going to change?
I still think Rattler's a better guy.
But it is. You're right. I'm not sure we wouldn't be doing this if Shook was named the starter yesterday. It's like,
Shook, how many starts does Rattler have?
6.
Okay, if Chuck had 6 starts, what chances would Rattler have of starting? 0.
Yeah,
there's no way he would. You think he showed enough in preseason to beat your guy with his starting experience?
Shook was a favorite to be the starter before camp started with no starts. So he certainly, if he'd had 6, would have been the favorite.
Who do we lean on the most down there? Who's the most respected beat writer? It's Nick Underhill. Oh, come on, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Okay. Drafted Shug is your starter, and it's really not. They wanted to. He was their guy.
Yeah,
he was their guy at that time, and he had a rough camp. And supposedly, and listen, man, the flowery. I got a kick listening out of the national media because the Saints' first preseason game was a standalone noon kickoff, and like all of these reports, bookmakers in Las Vegas, the odds makers working behind the counter. What are these guys looking at that are covering this team? This guy's awful. Mm-hmm. This is the guy that looks so damn good. There's no way he looked this good. It's impossible. So, and you get that. You get some of these slanted reports during the camp for their the team's beat writers. But those 6 games, 4 of those.
This will be my prediction. Max actually makes a point about the home game. I'm going to say they go 1-4 in the first 5, and he starts Game 6 in the Dome against the Patriots.
1-5 starts
1-4, and then
I'm sorry.
To avoid starting Shook on the road in Game 7 at Chicago. They gave him a start in the Superdome on October the 12th, which was the same week that May made his debut, that same weekend.
It's a very good line, Charlie. I don't know what to take, the over or the under.
Yeah, the Patriots game is, I think, that's going to be his first. That's his first start. That's my prediction.
It might be 1/2 with this guy. Y'all got a lot more faith in him than me.
Well.
This is going to be ugly.
I don't have a whole lot of faith in him.
It's going to be ugly.
If you sat here and asked me, are the Saints more likely to go 5-12 or 2-15? Because I think it's going to be in between that. Ooh. But if they're more likely to go 5-12 or 2-15, I might lean to the 2-15.
Their win total's 5.5.
I'll take. You take
4.5.
It's 5.5. You got to lay juice to the under. So you and probably just as much juice, maybe more than over 4.5. You can have 2-15. I'll take 5-12. Little side play. Go ahead.
You have to lay me. You have to lay me a little.
You
said juice to the under.
No.
Did you not just say juice to the under?
That's why I'm calculated and taking the 5. Okay, instead of the 2.
Okay.
So
you get 5. You
can't speak.
You get 5 and I get 2.
We hold you accountable. We hold you accountable on this show. Okay? You got to put your money where your mouth is on this show. Okay. All right. You want 2-15? You got them. I'll take 5-12. Your words, not mine. I didn't set this up. You said it. What you want to buy?
All right.
A margarita? A Modesto?
A Modesto margarita.
All right.
What a Debbie Downer.
I get 2, he gets 5, and you pick a number.
I think they're going to win 6 games.
Okay, he gets 6.
Would you name your number on that, big fella?
He gets 2 margaritas.
You get 5, I get 6.
He gets 2 margaritas if they win 6.
I think they were 6 and 11.
You don't have to give him crap. He's the one saying
Charlie's the Debbie Downer. He got here. The weather's lovely, by the way. It's like 75
cooler,
degrees.
yeah.
You call
This
it cloudy.
guy,
You came here.
You want to jog
day
this
out there.
guy's young, short track record of evaluating NFL quarterbacks?
Well, Ritter got cut yesterday.
Okay, that's one. Trey Lance.
Good.
He's moved up
Beat
from
out
third
Hannah
string to
Heineke.
second string.
Watch out for him.
Hell of a career. Well worth the investment by the 49ers.
be clear.
And now he's behind Spencer Rattler.
I didn't say
good luck, young man.
I didn't say Desmond Ritter would be a world beater. I said he was a decent third-round pick. Or was he second-round pick?
I
think it was second.
Okay, I said he could be something, and he wasn't. But I didn't say he should be like a first overall pick.
I will tell you this.
Come on.
I'm surprised Desmond Ritter. You talk about you would take Spencer Rattler as your backup. So both of them are available as your backup ahead of. You would take Spencer Rattler ahead of Desmond Ritter. I don't know.
No,
hell no. I mean,
he's younger.
But yeah, Rattler gets another chance because
Flacco's the backup. He's older than everybody. He's way better than most of the backups.
Sure, but you give more of a leash to a shorter player who you haven't seen as much.
Why is that?
Because of what
more
could be.
I thought as a backup,
he gets more opportunities.
There's a less certain ceiling.
I'll see where he's going with that. He's going to get more opportunities.
No, as your starter, you give more credence in you. But as your backup, you want guys to get reps.
Yeah,
Tim Boyle so you're going to tell me every backup is and Flacco's going to be a backup, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to take all these young guys ahead of Flacco right now as your backup because they're younger? That makes no sense.
It depends on my team. If my team is supposed to be good, I want to back up.
Let's go to break.
I want to back up with experience. If I'm going to be good, if I'm going to stink, I want to take a chance on a young guy that might be good.
But you don't care about your backup and your results now. I'm talking about
if I'm the Saints, I don't.
But I'm talking about a team. No, we're talking about teams that you're trying to win.
Okay, if you're trying to win, no, I won't.
Really? We're trying to win.
Well, they're not trying to win.
For this state, we're trying to win.
Okay. Yeah, if it's a good team,
Saints are trying to win.
If I'm Washington, yes, I want to back up.
Saints are trying to win.
Sort of. I mean, all evidence to the contrary.
GM is.
Draft better
Our
players.
game day specials over here at Modesto. Home and away. That kicks off right now. $11 game day nachos, shrimp flautas as well. $4 Mexican bottle beers and high noons, and $3 domestic bottle beers. $10 tomato tango wraps. That's the vegan egg rolls and the $8 jalapeno fries. So all kinds of different drink and food specials for our game days. That's both home and away that we honor these over here at Modesto on Burbank. Back to school deal this week through Wednesday through Friday. $14 birria burgers. That's the brisket burgers, Mexican candy shots, fireballs, and Corazon Blanco shots as well. That's over here at Modesto. So how about that? Game day specials, home and away. That starts this Saturday, both food and drink specials here at Modesto on Burbank, where this football season we've expanded, bigger and better, patio, inside, TVs, inside, outside, and a whole nother dining area if you want to get away a little bit from the sound over here at Modesto. Great stop before, during, and after LSU football games.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Keegan Bradley making his call on the Ryder Cup team this morning, and Sam Burns, one of his 6 captains' picks. He didn't pick himself. The question I asked was, if Keegan Bradley wasn't the captain, would another captain have picked him? Was he deserving?
Absolutely.
Did he leave himself off just because he's the captain?
I believe he would have been on it. He was going to be on the fringe, 10th or 11th. The reason I say I'm not sure he would have been on it is because he's been in similar spots before where he wasn't picked. This is where the so-called Ryder Cup Boys Club comes into account. He was part of the Netflix series last year, whereas between him or Sam Burns or Justin Thomas, this was the 2 years ago Ryder Cup, the last Ryder Cup that was played, he got left off the team by Zach Johnson. The feeling was that he wasn't really considered because he wasn't cool. He wasn't friends with JT and Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler and those guys. So the problem is, depending on which captain it was, maybe he would not have been considered as heavily because he's not part of the quote-unquote boys club.
That's a crappy way to pick your team.
That's how it's been.
Who's more deserving or who's part of the club.
That's just going off of history.
But
if you look at
that's why they get crushed every time of year.
Specifically, if you look at the play, yes, Keegan Bradley would have made the team. I think it's a good decision, though, that he ultimately chooses not to pick himself because the captaincy has a lot of obligations and responsibilities that would be very difficult to do if he was playing.
Scheffler, J.J. Spawn, Xander Schauffele, Russell Henley, Harris English, Bryson DeChambeau were the 6 automatic qualifiers. Bradley named Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Ben Griffin, Cam Young, Pat Cantlay, and Sam Burns as his captain's pick. Any glaring omissions besides Bradley?
The only guys other than Bradley, I guess, would be Maverick McNeely was 10th in the Ryder Cup standings, but to me that was a bad standings. I don't think he deserved to make the team. Jordan Spieth made it a couple years ago, but he didn't make the top 50 in the Ryder Cup. So ultimately, it was between, I think, Bradley or either Burns or Colin Morikawa, who's been playing pretty poorly as of late.
Is Burns first?
No, he was on last year.
He was on.
Yeah, it was a controversial pick last time.
That's right.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get when you dial 296-0060. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Gallardo, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Wes Reynolds joins us when we return. Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Well. A lot of people showing tickets right now with Tommy Fleetwood after another gag job, but one guy came on publicly and not just on this show, but put it right there. First name out of his mouth was Fleetwood. I know. And it wasn't even the greatest price, 16 to 1, 15, 16 to 1, something like that with Scotty Scheffler involved. Man, way to close out another great golf season, Wes, by getting that outright for us last week with Tommy Fleetwood. Congrats, sir.
Thank you. I never stopped believing in Tommy Fleetwood. And if you believe that, then I've got some swampland to sell you. Yeah, look,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That he finally got it done, man.
Oh, how do you not pull for him? When it's going on, you see his Ryder Cup teammates coming, so congratulate him. Keegan Bradley, others that were in contention. Who's that?
Caitlin Clark. They were LeBron and.
Oh no, I'm talking about first on,
sure.
At the course, and then it extended outside into, and that surprised. Did that surprise you that these highly popular sport athletes from other sports? Love him, hate him. I mean, I've got LeBron fatigue, but still, it's a nice little, social media message or congratulatory message from Caitlin Clark to LeBron James to whoever. Man, it was something. What hole was it we talked about Monday? Was it going into 16 with Scheffler?
Well, Scheffler put in the water on 16.
15,
okay, so with Scheffler,
15.
With Scheffler with 4 holes, 2 back. What you thinking, Wes?
I was thinking he was going to get it done. It kind of became a 2-person tournament with him and Patrick Cantlay at that point because you saw those guys, not making a move. Henley had kind of fallen just a little bit off the pace, and nobody was really making. Bradley had kind of, gotten to a point and stalled, and you knew it's like, okay, it's all on you, man. It's on you. Like, nobody's going to catch you. It's going to have to be you falling to the back of the field. And, he's such an easy guy to root for, and it's no surprise that all these celebrities that you mentioned. I actually felt a little good about it, as weird as this sounds, when our adorkable queen from Indianapolis, Caitlin Clark, said, this has to be Tommy's day, right? This has to be his day because she's a golf nut and plays. And now you're getting LeBron into the game. He's just started playing. So, that was good to see all these people root Tommy home, and the crowd. I felt the gallery was certainly with him in Atlanta. So, got it home and found a way. It felt like it was a matter of time, but it's like, okay, when's it going to happen because he's fallen short so many times.
Yeah, no doubt. Well played, Wes. All right. Golf, we push it to the side. Ryder Cup we'll revisit shortly during football. But college football, the 5-day extended opening Labor Day weekend. Let's get some picks. Who you on this week?
Oh, boy, yeah. These have been up a little while because I will say this in full disclosure. I like weeks 2 through 4 when we don't have these up for like a whole month and a half and these lines hadn't been beaten into shape where it's just like, okay, we can react or go against the overreactions that we see from week number 1. So I'll give a few, and let's start with a big, ugly underdog that's going to make us all very uncomfortable. How about Georgia State plus 36 against Ole Miss? And I know what you're thinking. We've seen, and you guys have seen it regularly, Lane Kiffin, he likes to keep scoring points. He doesn't really always let his foot off the gas against some of these non-conference teams. But in past seasons, he hasn't had SEC games right on deck. Like a lot of these conference games don't start until October. But now, right out of the chute in week number 2, they got to go to Lexington to play Kentucky, who, of course, did beat them as double-digit underdogs outright in Oxford last year, and then Arkansas the next week. So it's like, you got the 2 conference games on deck. Do you want to necessarily show everything with this new quarterback down there in Oxford? So I think Georgia State is going to give, I think, an honest effort. Second-year coach Del McGee, and a lot of transfers out of the portal, remaking the team. Got some athletes on that team. So Georgia State plus 36, and it's been hit a little bit, but I think they hang within the number here. Maybe Ole Miss isn't going to be running it up all that much. And you're also seeing the total move downwards a little bit from 62.5 to around 60 as low as I'm seeing in the market. So that's usually better for the underdog, right? That, the total is getting, especially when you're taking all them points. So I did go ahead and play Georgia State plus those big numbers.
All right. Anything else on the card for this weekend?
Yeah, got a few.
Okay.
Would still play South Florida, maybe a little bit smaller, even at the worst number at 6 against Boise tomorrow. I think this is a tough first game actually for Boise. South Florida's gotten to a bowl game the last couple of years with Alex Galesh. I think that program is heading in the right direction, and you get them guys from Boise though, and we've seen it in years past. You get those teams go to that humid Florida in late August, early September, and sometimes they wear out a little bit late. So I still like South Florida as an underdog over Boise State. A couple others. I hate to do it, but I may be going against the alma mater this week, especially if that gets to 24. And it's Old Dominion against Indiana. And ODU, by the way, of course, very familiar with Kurt Signetti because they were in the Fun Belt. They were in the Sun Belt with Sig. So Ricky Ronnie and those guys are familiar with that personnel, I think, a little bit. And in terms of the scheme and what they want to run, both offensively and defensively, I know it's hard to take those points because Sig, we saw last year, he liked to score points too, and he ran it up on some of those teams. But first game, maybe a little bit of jitters. Now you've got expectations. The opener is likely to be sold out for the first time in a long time in Bloomington at Memorial Stadium. So, maybe a little jitters early against ODU. And ODU is going to be excited because this is not, our grandfather's Indiana. Now this is a relevant program. So ODU, hopefully that reaches 24. I think that is going to touch 24. At 23.5, I still think it's worth something, but especially if that gets to 24, I expect you'll see some money come in on the Monarchs.
All right. Any more for this weekend?
Yeah, got a couple more. I did play Texas at 2.5 against Ohio State. There's still some 2 and 1.5 out there now. I think Ohio State, maybe early on, they're always loaded with talent, and this year is no exception for the defending national champion. But that defense, especially on the front, is going to be pretty brand new. And now you've got Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator because Jim Knowles goes to Penn State as they paid a lot of money to pluck him from Columbus. And I think the offense is going to be fine with Julian Sayin. I think when you've got those kind of weapons and you got maybe the greatest receiver in the history of the program, perhaps Jeremiah Smith, and that's saying a lot considering he's just a sophomore, they're going to be fine offensively. But I think Texas, coming back from, the fact that they almost beat them in the playoff game. I know the final score wouldn't indicate that, but they were right there until Jack Sawyer had that strip sack and then returned it, and then it was pretty much all she wrote for the Longhorns. So I think Stark after dark, and actually Stark in Big Noon at 9 a.m. Pacific time, get some payback against Buckeyes.
Manning threw 90 passes last year. Not a single one of them was on the road. Every pass he threw last year was at home. So that first road start for him as well, but he didn't even play in the road. He got in to kneel a ball down against Texas A&M, but did not throw a pass on the road last year.
That one was at College Station. Yeah, that's did he run the ball? Didn't he? Yeah, he ran the ball.
He had 3 rushes.
Did not throw it.
Did not have a pass.
He was a little. I think he scored a touchdown.
He did.
Yeah. And finally, one more, Wes, for this weekend.
Yeah, let's go with the total here. Let's go with UNLV Sam Houston State. That has moved a little bit, but Sam Houston State, by the way, was on the field defensively for 86 plays against Western Kentucky. And then we saw what happened with UNLV against Idaho State. That was a game in the fourth quarter, and the Rebels were fortunate that Idaho State threw 4 interceptions, and that's why they won the game. I thought UNLV's offense was okay with Anthony Calandra, the Virginia transfer primarily, and then they used Alex Orji, the Michigan transfer, and some, run packages. But UNLV gave up 550 yards defensively. I know they had a couple guys out, but this defense, I still very, very much a work in progress. So I think you're going to see a lot of points Friday night with UNLV and Sam Houston State.
All right, we got another week before NFL, but any futures that you're on for the NFL?
Yeah, I played a few. In terms of Super Bowl, I like the Baltimore Ravens. I really think that this is going to be their year. I think they've been close. The defense is a lot better. They just announced the re-signing of Cal Hamilton today, so I did play that. And then season wins that I'll give out really quickly. I do like the Eagles and the Lions, and I know those are 2 premium teams, but I like both of those teams under. I think the Lions especially, they're going to miss Ben Johnson as a play caller. I think that's a downgrade from him to John Morton, who hasn't been a coordinator for several years in the National Football League. And then these teams that won a lot of these close games, like the Lions, like the Eagles a little bit. The Eagles, by the way, don't have consecutive home games all season, so I'm lower on them. I'm also lower on the Washington Commanders, even though they're McLaurin back in the fold. That's a team that went 9-2 in one-possession games last year. And it's a little bit of an older roster as well. They're very free agent heavy like Houston was a couple years ago. Commanders have some regression coming, so I like them under 9.5, and I also like the Dolphins under 7.5. I think that can you keep healthy, all 17 games? That's only happened once in his career. And if he's out, I think that offense, just the timing gets off as much speed and weapons as they have. And then defensively, that's secondary. That secondary is going to be poor. So you're obviously going to see a lot of high-scoring games. And I think the offensive line is, kind of the musical chairs a little bit, especially with Terran Armstead retiring in the offseason. So Miami under for me.
All right, follow Wes on X/Twitter at Wes Reynolds 1. Got, again, plenty of action for you right now for college and some NFL futures. We'll get to the NFL as well next week. Wes, thanks for making time for us today, brother. We'll talk to you next week. And, again, great job on another great golf season.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me, as always.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget our friends over at Workbox and Workbox Services, my buddy Martin Padial and his great staff over at Workbox, and expanded. Second location allows us to service the entire Gulf South region through New Orleans and Baton Rouge, Lafayette, all the way to Lake Charles. So, I've been talking about Workbox for a long time. And their movable storage needs, and commercial or residential, you're moving out the house, and you want to. Are we going to get a moving truck? Going to rent one out? Well, you don't want to rent it for. You want to rent it for as little, short as possible. So, No, just get a movable storage container, a shipping container that's delivered to your home. That way you can work at your own pace and not burn yourself out. Moving's no fun. And so you don't want to add to the frustration by trying to squeeze it in and jamming it in into a short window of time through a movage truck. Also, for business-wise, you want a tool storage container for a job site, custom lunchroom, custom work site for welders, plumbers, safety storage near the plant that is required with their safety requirements, climate control, shelving, lighting, wooden materials, metal materials. We can customize it exactly to your preference or your liking. Don't forget our great staff over at Workbox. Is it bigger and better than ever before? Of course, Martine Sr., his son Martine Jr., Hannah, Brandy, Chris Brooks, our great team at Workbox. Workbox and Workbox LLC, 343-4886.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Shows available on demand, 1045ESPN.com and LouisianaSports.net. New Hannycast up, deep dive preview with me and Richard Dixon into LSU's roster as we begin the season. That's on YouTube right now. A lot of golf news today. Just happens to be a newsy golf day between the Ryder Cup and now the State of Louisiana, the governor announced just a little while ago that Live Golf is officially coming to New Orleans next year. Bayou Oaks at City Park will be the course. The tournament will be held from June 26th through the 28th.
Beautiful weather in the 70s that time, huh? Should be ideal.
Does it even get in the 70s in the middle of the night in June in New Orleans?
Yeah, it will.
So if they play at 2 o'clock in the morning in the dark, the temperatures might be okay.
It might.
The project's going to cost. It's unclear if this is the city or the state. $5 million, but
the state is allocating some public money for this.
Okay, so it's a combination of the city and the state.
At least the state. For
sure.
And money well spent.
They expect that this will generate between $50 and $75 million of economic impact.
That's a lie.
I don't know much about this.
Max isn't going,
but
he has to drive an hour. Who the hell's going to go watch that? He eats, drinks, and everything golf. He's not going.
I might go. We'll see.
You might not.
I might not. Yeah.
You're not going.
You're asking the wrong guy. I mean, you're asking me to go out in New Orleans heat at the end of June to watch golf. I mean,
that you're really not interested in. You don't know. Wait, who's the team?
We know they're famous players on that tour to be sure.
You can
but
follow some good players.
Right.
Yes, that's legit. Okay, but all these this is made up, man. Of course they made the decision. They're committing some money. They have to do it. That's how Live operates. But this is you trying to sell this like don't tell me this economic impact in late June. God, that's so.
I might be able to buy this if this tournament was in March. If it was right following Mardi Gras, and you might be able to pick up a twofer or something. And say, hey, we're going for Mardi Gras, and we'll stay for a little. You might be able to sell it to me a little bit with that, but that date is a killer.
Nice weather, something to go outside.
Yeah,
I'll go. I'll go watch. Bryson. Yeah, I mean that's.
If you park this the weekend after Mardi Gras, and I know Mardi Gras is a floating date, but sometime in March or so, I might be able to get
March,
behind
April.
this.
It's got a chance.
This is the benefit the PGA Tour has of being an American tour, right? They can go the Texas swing and the Florida swing in the spring where it's cooler. Live goes all over the world. It just kind of fits wherever, and so they're going to New Orleans in the middle of the summer. That's not a great idea. I will say for New Orleans and golf, unfortunately, Zurich just keeps getting a bad run of things by the PGA Tour. Next year's PGA Tour schedule has been announced. They've added a signature event right after the Zurich, so they're now stuck between 6 events that are all either signature events or majors. So all the big players, unfortunately, are now probably going to skip to Zurich unless they have some sort of tie to Zurich as an ambassador or whatnot. And unfortunately, Brian Rolap, the new CEO of the PGA Tour, has talked about kind of refining the schedule, maybe eliminating some events. And I worry that the Zurich might be a casualty of a move like that. So at some point, it's possible that Live might be the only event.
That's fine. Move it to the date. Move it to the
Well, that's on Liv.
the Zurich
And
date when you get to that point.
We don't know how long Liv will be around as well.
It'll be a totally different game at that point. When the weather's good in March and April, which it can be, people are looking to do things outside. Okay, it's festival season, but maybe not in the middle of the summer. What was Liv's best one? You saw it. It's on TV a little bit. It was in Chicago. By far their best attendance figures. Chicago in July is nice. People are looking to get out there too as well.
Scott Rabelais when we come back live in Modesto. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Enjoying the finer things in life is his forte. Let's bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate.
And return here at Modesto. Tacos, tequila, whiskey, and an easy little walk over to Tiger Stadium when LSU opens up the regular season home schedule with Louisiana Tech next week. Rab, good afternoon. How are you?
Young Squires. How are we today?
We're doing pretty good, man.
We're going to all seem older once Corso retires, though, aren't we? We're all going to seem older.
It's just it's another one of those things that we have become accustomed to. When Keith Jackson retired, had been listening to him from the very beginning of watching college football. Keith Jackson was just a huge loss when we got him. At Corso, it's going to be one of those things that we have grown accustomed to, that he's been a major part of how we watch college football pregames. I felt the same way about the NFL pregames, when Musburger quit doing it. He was the guy I grew up with. And for Corso, more than one generation of college football fans has grown up with him. It's going to be very nostalgic, very emotional on Saturday for that crew, I know. And, for fans, game day, you can make a very good argument that of all the things that ESPN has done, like them, don't like them, since the beginning of the network, that nothing has been more successful than College Game Day. It was something that they created, that they organically created and brought to campuses. And if you read the book, now the book's a little dated now, but nothing that they have done has been better received than College Game Day. Nothing. Outside of game coverage,
Yeah, it's become a fabric of the sport, which and those things are not easy to conjure up, to create. And remember when they first started coming to LSU? I mean, people were like, "What is this? This is a happening." When they would be on the ramp of the PMAC, and of course LSU's got that part in that lore because the guy threw the golf ball at the stage, and now they have
to put the net up.
That's right, because of LSU fans. So LSU fans can take pride in that, I suppose.
But it's such a happening, and they've done it several different places. They did it on the ramps, they did it on the golf course, they did it on the parade grounds. They've been in the quad the last couple of times they've been in here, so they've been different places. No, it's a mainstay for college football.
That was my first game at Tiger Stadium. Lee Corso was on the sidelines. So
the first game of the Upper Deck.
78
Upper Deck.
Yeah.
We had to, because they beat us in Bloomington the year before.
Yeah,
24-21. So the LSU won 24-17. So that was the first addition to the original bowl at Tiger Stadium. Now I saw LSU play Tulane, in the early 70s when we that was a good luck charm on that when our 24-game winning streak got broken.
Nice job.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. So anyway, my dad wanted to, hey, you're a good luck charm. So anyway, but yes, 78. So the Corso, and it's just been tastefully done. And the thing that they get, Charlie, whether it's Fowler, who was the host before?
Tim Brando.
It was Brando, then Fowler, then Reese Davis. And all of them get the little intricacies that make college football not NFL.
Yeah.
Just when Reese, just a hotty toddy. Or, or between the head, just whatever it is, Toomer's Corner, just the things, at night, Death Valley, just those little things around they get that. And when you listen to people, basically outsiders who call Ole Miss Mississippi, that's a dead, can't do that,
right.
Around just the little things that separated, they identified with, and they made sure to bring it out. So it was appointment television. It got too expanded. It got a little diluted, like most pregame shows. But the damn thing at the end with Corso, how the shelf life of that is just amazing. things just don't have that long of a shelf life, no matter what you're trying to do in the entertainment business.
We'll be watching on Saturday for sure. All right, Rab, is LSU ready to play Clemson? What kind of chance do you give LSU in South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina this weekend?
I give LSU a very good chance. I think they're ready. I think, as I've said before, I don't think they played with a great sense of urgency in some of these 5 straight games that they've lost, especially last year. I don't think they took USC that seriously, and they were, as was proven, they were the better team. This is obviously the toughest assignment, though, arguably. I mean, but it's up there with the game in Orlando against Florida State in 23. But it's right up there. But I think they're ready. I can't make myself pick LSU to win. I think they can cover. But it's a game that if Clemson LSU hits a couple of big plays, maybe a big kick return from Berrien Brown, for example, or an interception that they return deep in Clemson's territory and set them up with a short field, LSU can certainly pull the game out. But it's because I still have a little question about, is Clemson all that great? This year, they didn't beat anybody as good as LSU last year, and a new defensive coordinator and all that. So, but it's a tough ask to get them to go on the road and win this game. It would be for anybody, not just this LSU team.
Scott, I maintain that this game is not the season definer that a lot of people think that it is. Last year they lost the opener and ran off 6 straight. They were on their way to number 7 when they collapsed in the second half at A&M. So I still think this could easily be a playoff team if they lose this weekend. But I do concede that the mood around here is going to be pretty sour. And it's not just because that Brian Kelly has put so much emphasis on this game, which I agree with, but because they have lost 5 in a row. So we'll look at this before, how might LSU fans/team react to a loss?
Fans are going to go ballistic with a loss. I think the team, they've been through this before. If they lose the game, this is familiar territory for a lot of these guys. And they've put a lot of emphasis on it. We've been in the football complex all during preseason camp and seen the 1-0 signs everywhere. And at Saturday's scrimmage in Tiger Stadium, they had 1-0 up on the village message boards. They've got they made this a big emphasis. But no, it isn't the whole season because it is a 12-game playoff. If it was still a 14 playoff, I would say their chances of making it would be slim if they lose this game. Now you've reduced a very little margin of error going into the SEC, and you got all these other ranked teams to play. But this could. We don't know how good Alabama and Ole Miss will be on the road. This could potentially be LSU's toughest test of the whole season, right off the bat. So no, it doesn't have to be the end of the season. I think the team will react much more within the proper context than I think fans will, or people in the country. Because of the disdain a lot of people in the media around the country have for Brian Kelly, and people they'd love to see him and LSU lose this game and want to write them off. But that's really too simplistic, and it's in the current structure of how the college football playoff is decided. All of LSU's goals are still going to be in front of them, no matter what happens in this game.
The concern for this team, the biggest concern for this team since the end of last season and all the way through camp, all the way to right now and up to kickoff, has been the offensive line. What was your reaction on Monday when Brian Kelly said, we're going to play 8 offensive linemen in this game?
Yeah, like it did for you guys, bells went off, so that because, it start, especially since from the start, when we started going out there for the start of preseason camp, about a month ago, it seemed like very quickly they honed in on these 5 guys who are going to be their likely starters. And then lately, with the talk about left guard and with the talk about right tackle, it's not been that, right? It's been a little more, more fluid. They are in a better position of the middle. It would seem with Braylon Moore. He's a veteran guy, obviously a newcomer, but he's the kind of guy that you want right in the middle. But it's a warning bell. It's not what you want, especially against a Clemson team that one of their strengths seems to be their defensive front. With these preseason all ACC and potential All-American candidates up front. It's not going to be as good a line. I don't matter who the five are, though, or who the starting five are, or if the rotation is. It's not going to be probably as good as the line is going to be later on in the season for LSU, no matter what the circumstances. But it's not what you want to hear going into a game, especially against this opponent with the with the strength that it has on its defensive front.
Outside of Garrett Nussmeier, which player or players, you can pick more than one if you want, are you most anxious to see how they perform on Saturday?
I would say, more than one. Marion Brown, can he be a difference maker? As a receiver, of course, but as a kick returner, a threat that could he be the biggest threat LSU's had as a kick returner since Trendon Holiday? He has those kind of credentials, right? And he has that kind of speed. So I'm very eager to see what he can do. Taking the top off the defense, and then maybe changing, flipping the field for LSU in a crucial situation in a game that you figure is going to be a close game. I still want to see how effective Whit Weeks is. We've heard about the load management and everything. I thought when they brought him to media days in July in Atlanta that he's made a great recovery, but I want to say this the right way. I don't think Brian Kelly's been completely honest with how healthy he is. I think Harold Perkins has looked great. Lateral movement and speed and everything in preseason camp. You're recovering from his injury, but that happened 11 months ago. His ACL. Weeks was just injured on New Year's Eve in the bowl game. So I'm still waiting to see if he's going to be as effective and as big a disruptor as LSU fans want to see him be. And then maybe one more player. I think obviously a strength of the defense has to be up the middle where they've been weak in the secondary at safety. And so A.J. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley, I guess both those guys, but if you want to pick one and say Halsey, both these transfers, they're veterans and they're talented. And I think they were among the biggest acquisitions for LSU this offseason. But defense, again, is always about chemistry and playing together and knowing that the guy next to you is going to do his job and not trying to overdo or over-pursue. So, but I think that their play against a Clemson team that obviously likes to take their chances and has got very good receivers and a very good quarterback, take their chances downfield will be key as well.
Any thoughts about Ohio State, Texas before we let you go?
I guess part of me, I'm not a person who likes to get force-fed things. It's like ESPN with the NBA stuff. I used to be a bigger NBA fan than I am now, and I just it's too much. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Okay. And Texas, I'm kind of that way too. No offense to Arch Manning, but Texas is so full of themselves. I kind of would like to see them fall on their faces. And, I think Ohio State's going to win. I think it's like LSU going to Clemson. That's a tough ask for Texas to start the season. Doesn't mean the season's over, that they can't make the playoff or win any of the championships that they're after. But I think it's a tough ask, especially for if this was their first year quarterback who's hardly started or hardly not had a whole lot of experience starting a game at Ohio State. If this was Arch Hannegriff, would we be thinking Texas is going to win the game? No, I don't think so. So I know he's got the name, but I think it's a lot to ask for the young man in his first really big start.
I'd be a lot wealthier if that were the case. I know that, but
would you stay in another year in college?
I'd stay for. You stay for 7.
Would you have taken your official visit to LSU?
I would have faked an injury to stay in school. Give all of that attention. Rab, safe travels to Clemson, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
And we're brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. If you've got a duck camp, you got a fishing camp, you got look how big boy toys, boats, trailers, ATVs, RVs. You're having a hard time getting insurance on. If you have property that you're having a hard time getting flood insurance on, let the Morris Insurance Group help you out. Call 201-0007, 225-201-0007. Talk to my man, Buzzy Hydell. He'll be able to help you out. They do auto insurance, homeowners insurance, commercial insurance as well. But some of those hard to insure items, and again, especially with your flood insurance, call the Morris IG Group. And online, it's morris-ig.com. Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at Modesto, live at lunch. Jimmy, you've been pretty good with the quarterbacks this week. I give you this one. I wouldn't have done this, but Tommy DeVito got claimed off of waivers. You thought that he might. I thought that he wouldn't. The Patriots claimed him today. He's going to be the third quarterback behind Drake May and Joshua Dobbs. So
look good in preseason.
Yeah,
whatever for whatever that's worth. I get it, but
he got picked up today by the Patriots. So he's on a team, and I wasn't sure that he was going to be, but he gets
how many starts for him? 4.
I thought it might have been a little bit more than that, but somewhere in there. For his career, he's got 222 attempts. So what does that amount to? 6 or 7 starts, maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that area. There are also some Saints moves. Max.
Yeah, the Saints have claimed former LSU Tiger and former Buccaneers wide receiver Trey Palmer, as well as former Broncos guard Xavier Truss from waivers. Truss is an undrafted free agent from this year that spent his time with the Broncos most recently.
Kentwood, Louisiana, representing.
Yeah.
Trey Palmer. We're seeing.
Had a good game in Dublin.
He did, yeah.
It's Northwestern.
I remember when Trey Palmer got here, so he was the fastest. The year he got here, he was the fastest guy on the team. Unbelievable straight line speed. This is what I expected from New Orleans. They started this probably 4 days ago with the Ville trade, and then the trade yesterday for the offensive lineman from Dallas. Now a couple of picks up off of waivers. This is what Sean Payton did in his first year. He had a dilapidated roster. It was absolutely horrible, and Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was piece by piece. Let me see what you can find on the waiver wire that is not necessarily great, but is better than what you have. And sometimes it requires moving a draft choice. It's a little bit of a high draft choice in the Denver trade, but at least I get it. The players that they traded for are both second-year players. They both have proven that they belong on an NFL roster. You were able to get them in for draft choices. These guys that they're bringing in today are just better than what they have on the current roster. So, frankly, I expect them to be active right up to the start of the regular season. If somebody shakes loose that they think that they can improve the roster at all without making these giant moves. We're not talking about trading high, first day or second day draft choices. We're talking about guys they can get on the cheap that just they're not going to move the win total, Jimmy. They're just going to make this team a little bit better, and this is what Payton did. He brought in about half a dozen guys there after the start after the middle of camp, got them a little bit better.
He did that the first year, obviously, and he went to a well he was familiar with because he went to Dallas. That's where he came from, so he knew those guys were better than what he had in his camp, even though they were cut by Dallas. The other thing is, Charlie, this kind of sustained for Payton as far as he thought guys, quote-unquote, off the street that would fit a specific need were better used for his roster than a 6th or 7th round draft pick, because they consistently gave those threw those away to move up, a few spots and to identify the guy for whether it was right or wrong. He's pretty consistent with that over the years. Delicano would talk about it, says, yeah, the Saints, Payton thinks there's a lot of good football players that aren't necessarily working right now.
Yeah, so. And that's interesting because the first, and you're right. In the coming year, the ensuing years, they did move a lot of those late picks, and it's interesting because the first year, his 7th round pick was one of the best picks they ever made. With Marcus Colston, was a 7th round pick. He became the leading receiver in Saints history, and they also hit with a late one with Zach Strief, who was a starter. They hit, and then Jari Evans was probably the best draft pick they ever made, a 4th round guy that is knocking on the door of the Hall of Fame. But you're right. After that, they moved a lot of those late picks. What I like about the two guys that they got in the trade is that they're still under team control for multiple years, and that they're not absolute busts. If they were absolute busts, they wouldn't have played in their rookie season. So you're at least getting something. This is going to be a long, slow rebuild for those guys.
A couple other notable pickups in the last half hour across the NFL. The Browns, a similar team that have needs, just trying to fill the roster. Former LSU defensive back Jarek Bernard-Converse picked up by the Browns, along with Rocket Sanders, the former Razorbacks running back.
Bernard-Converse actually played some for the Jets last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but he actually played, right? He wasn't just on the practice squad. I liked him. I thought he was a nice addition. I thought he had a really good. It was 1 year, but I thought he had a really good year at LSU in 22.
Came in from Oklahoma State. We'll see if one of the transfers that LSU's gotten this year can build similar production.
Yeah. And Quinn Ewers made the team in Miami. We weren't certain that he was going to, but he made the team in Miami. He made the team.
So he's on the active roster.
They haven't said the practice squads yet, but they didn't cut him either. So.
Okay, well, I mean he's
on the roster.
He's on the roster right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So he not even had to go to the practice squad. Okay. Listen, I mean he might have slid. He might have gone way below. He might not be a pro quarterback. But damn, some of the guys that were drafted higher than him, I think that I saw Quinn Ewers do some things that I thought were not bad. Was he playing healthy the whole time? I mean,
probably not.
Okay, Michigan wasn't good, right?
Yeah.
But their defense was, huh? He looked good in that game.
Yeah, in that game.
When he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were some other games. When he got knocked out the Alabama game in Austin. I mean, that was a big deal when he got knocked out. I don't know. He's never been one of my favorites, but I think he's maybe a little bit better than where he went.
I think he sticks on a roster for a short period of time. I don't know if there's a long future in it, but sometimes I miss what these things. I never dreamed that Stetson Bennett would still be in the league. And there he is, still on the Rams roster.
He can. He's
been proving me wrong for about 6 years running now.
He can make some throws to area. His arm strength is stronger than most guys his size. Let's just put it that way. And you go back to that first national championship, the TCU game, the Ohio State game, the semifinal, the TCU year. He had to go 85 yards.
Yeah.
They were down 13.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had to put together 2 long drives. He had to throw the ball. When Bama tied it up or took the lead, I think they took a 3-point lead. Okay, when Jameson, their first win when they got over the hump at Bama, they lost to them earlier. And because he didn't play well, he forced some balls in a conference championship game. The game the year before, the COVID game at Tuscaloosa, tie game, second half, he turned the ball over. So you're like, man, can this little guy, can they get over the hump? Can they win it all with this guy? He made plays to win the game. They were back on their own. He threw the ball down 40 yards. He made some plays. So I can see where he can hang around. He's never going to be a starter. But I could see where he can come in there for 2 or 3 games and not be completely where opposing defenses are cheating on you because you don't have the arm strength.
I've been completely wrong on him. I've been trying to bury him after they won the first national championship. I said, yeah, man, just that's it. Just be a brand ambassador for Georgia for the rest of your life. I mean, you'll be able to tell stories from now until the end of time. Work for the athletic department. You're done. You're not going to make it in the NFL. Why come back and, right off into the sunset with the win? Nope. Came back, won another one. You're not going to make it in the NFL. made it in the NFL. Made it. He's still on a team, and even with he had to leave the team for a while in his rookie year. Usually that's a death knell for a rookie quarterback, and he's still over there. So, kudos to him. Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store. You getting ready for tailgating? A week from now, LSU will be their home opener against Louisiana Tech. Get your tailgating supplies, your grills, your griddles, all of your cooking accessories at the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, Highway 70 in Pierre Part. Jimmy, you got everything you needed for tailgating and for your outdoor kitchens.
Yes.
With your trip just about a week ago.
Oh, it was awesome, man. My man Jerry, he is at the Pierre Part Store. He knows where everything is. You can get all your tool, your yard equipment but right now, look, it's all about outdoor cooking. It's about, getting all your gear for tailgating. It's about, where you cast iron jambalaya pots, 4.5 gallon, 6.5 gallon, roll around jambalaya stand with burners, 6.5, 15, 20 gallon rigs. Outdoor pizza ovens. Spoons, ladles of all sizes, food storage containers. You even got the heavy-duty plastic, kind of the shakers, where it's got the little holes in at the top, and you put your fried food in there, and you shake it, where you get all the batter off, and it makes it so easy, man. It's just the propane. We got the best prices on propane at the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. So, but burners, regulators for build your own burners or to to replace when parts go out. So if you have your own kind of so many of them are made by hand. So you talk tons of gas grill burners with valves, fittings, hoses, smokers, smoke pellets, Charlie, pecan, mesquite, apple, hickory. You name it, stainless steel paddles and strainers, barbecue tool sets, everything you could possibly think of for your outdoor cooking, whether it's your outdoor kitchen at home or your tailgate party for this football season. 900
St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, Highway 70 in Pierre Part, the Pierre Part Store and the Thibodeau Store. Randy McKay joins us when we come back live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Big dog out.
Boom! Out of nowhere.
It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
And return here at Modesto Tacos, Tequila, and a Whiskey. Right here, just less than a mile from Tiger Stadium. An easy little walk over if you're coming next week before LSU and Louisiana Tech, and all season long.
Yeah, home games, you got it straight. But again, game day specials here of food and drink specials are available for both away and home games here at Modesto. $11 game day nachos and shrimp flautas, $4 Mexican bottles of beers and high noons, $3 domestic bottle beers, $10 tomato tango wraps, and $8 jalapeno fries. That's available over here at Modesto. Burbank, walking distance to Tiger Stadium. Let's bring in Randy McKay, the big dog, who's with us. So both of us have taken trips to Las Vegas for Bet Bash and also the contest sign-up Radio Row. Randy, you ready for football?
Yeah, I sure am. I'm actually heading back same that way in Colorado today, and then I'll be back there on Friday to sign up for all the contests and get ready. And what a difference a year makes. This time last year we were getting ready to go to the Colorado North Dakota State game, and then I was ready to meet you guys down in Vegas that Saturday for the LSU-USC game. So year went by fast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hopefully we'll have a different result for LSU in this first game under Brian Kelly. This is getting to be, getting a little. Charlie, was it you that asked what would the fan reaction be if they lost to Clemson? It's not going to be good.
Yeah, well, I every now and then you ask a question you know the answer to.
Yes.
I just want to see somebody. What I was wanting was, they'll be they'll understand that the playoffs are still in play, or no, this place is going to be in complete meltdown. I heard this Sunday night at the dinner from one person like, no, if they lose, it's the whole season right now. Like, it's really not, but good luck convincing anybody of that right now.
Yes, indeed.
I've I've been getting ready for that. I've been watching that on Netflix. They have that SEC documentary that's been pretty good, and I've been watching. I finished a Cowboy one too, so that brought me back some pretty good memories.
Yes, indeed. Hey, are you and your crew on anything where the college football stands alone for a football weekend before the NFL picks it up, and they extended a 5-day weekend for Labor Day weekend? Anything you or your crew are on?
I've been just doing pretty much pregame bets the day of the game. I've been finding some value. I haven't been finding too much. I'm waiting on these. Of course, I'm an FCS expert, and I like 4 matchups here if you guys want some FCS action. But, of course, these lines aren't really out yet. There's like one outliner offshore book. But
yes,
I like,
give them to us.
Some FCS games. Abilene Christian versus the Tulsa team here, getting a small, it says right around a +4, and I like this Abilene Christian team to go in there and give them all they can handle, maybe even win the game. The other one, or the other 3, got Idaho, number 12, Idaho versus Washington State. Washington State, whole new coach and coaching staff came from South Dakota State. And Idaho, number 13 in the FCS, could give Washington State all they can handle in this opener. Next one, Montana State, ranked number 2 in the FCS to start the year, but lost quarterback Tommy Malloy. He just on the practice squad with the Raiders. They go to Oregon. Oregon's a little down, I think, this year. And this Montana State, even though they lost their quarterback, it says the line should be right around 4 touchdowns. I think that's way too high. So, like Montana State here to give Oregon a pretty good game.
All right. So, Abilene Christian, Idaho, and Montana State. Remember, there's Idaho State and Montana. Oh, I'm sorry, but Idaho, Montana State, and one more. Who is it, Randy?
South Dakota going to Iowa State with a big win last week, so they might be a little sleeping here. The South Dakota team's got a good returning quarterback, a very good returning offense. They're ranked number 4 in the FCS. Catching Iowa State off that big win could be a very close game here. And these 2 teams aren't that far apart, so the kids will have a lot of familiarity with each other. So this could be a close game.
Are you worried about in the same way maybe a big win for the boys down on the Bayou in Nicholls State, who beat as a 2-touchdown underdog, won by 2 touchdowns themselves in Nicholls State against Incarnate Word as they travel on the road this week?
Yeah, that could be definitely. I watched some of that game too. That was a good game to watch, and I had a bet. And that definitely could be a tough spot. I also watched a game, or I had a bet on the game Mercer versus UC Davis in the FCS opener there in Alabama, and I'll start posting these, but it didn't matter because that game got canceled because they had a thunderstorm 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Wow. All right, let's continue our football preview. Before we do that, let's get right into it. The Minnesota Vikings, and it's all about unbelievable season. They more than doubled their win total last year, so O'Connell gets a lot of that credit. Sam Darnold was really solid for them last year until the last couple of games against Detroit and also against the Rams. So the last game of the regular season at Sunday night, they're playing for the number 1 seed or playing a road game. They lost, played on the road, and he did not look good, and it probably cost him some money, and who knows if they would have made it. But it's a first-year starter. McCarthy hurt in preseason last year, and so he'll be taking his first regular season snaps. But a tough act to follow for the Vikings. You also talk about the NFC North. Those 6 divisional games will be tough. The NFC East is one of the stronger divisions in football. In the AFC North, they ain't too bad themselves. What are we looking at with the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah, I still like the Vikings here. Big news today. They got back home Minnesota native Adam Thielen. And they, of course, I know his family because they own dealerships over there in Minnesota, so a pretty big name. they get him back. He started at a Division II school, so they're kind of guys I root for in the NFL, and he's had a great career. So big news getting him back. They needed to get him back because their wide receiving core, especially these first 3 games without Addison, is pretty thin. So that helps out. They boosted up the offensive line here. I got them ranked number 4 in the offensive line. So that should help. They got key additions there with the 2 guys from Indianapolis at center and at guard. And they did draft this Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State. So a 6'4" guy at 320 pounds. So that should help the run game as well. Help McCarthy with the play action. So we don't know what we're getting yet from McCarthy, but this rest of this team seems pretty solid. Of course, the defense, I give this coaching staff's one of the top coaching staff. You got Kevin O'Connell getting close to a top 5 coach, in my opinion, even though he did kind of make maybe a fundamental mistake in the game versus Detroit where they lost by 2 points. He could have went for it, I thought, 4th and 4, probably on their own 40-yard line rather than punt there. And then, of course, Detroit went down and scored a touchdown. But that was about the only coaching move I saw him make that I kind of disagreed with a little bit. But they got Flores on the other side. They added his defensive line. They got Allen from Washington, Hargrove from the 49ers to boost that defensive line. And they still got them really good linebackers, Gennard and Van Ginkel. The only question on their defense that I'm a little worried about is the right corner. They got Jeff Okudah listed in there. So far, a disappointing career, but this defense looks like it's going to be pretty solid, too. As far as the win totals go, I like them over 8.5.
Okay.
I definitely think they'll make the playoffs. And, if you even want to take a flyer on them to win the division, I could see them or Detroit winning the division with Green Bay probably making the playoffs at number 3.
8.5. What's the juice on that that you're showing?
It's gone up a little bit. It started open at 130, probably some 150 now. So that's been bad. It's been a kind of a sharp play as far as other guys I know they're on it.
Around $3 plus $3 for the divisional pick.
Yep, that's in the 320. They're right around that range. I think there's some value there. This team does have a tough schedule. They got the 2 games. I think that this benefits them though. These 2 games they got in England because they're 4-0 in their last London games. So they get 2 more games there where they've been good. Where other teams don't adjust. They've been adjusting. They're more like Jacksonville over there. Now, Jacksonville, usually don't bet on them in the regular season until they go over to London, then they give you their best effort, seems like. So it's kind of similar with the Vikings.
Very good. Follow Randy on Twitter at RR39. You get anything through the weekend, certainly fill us up. Now, we don't start football Sunday this weekend, but we will start the following Sunday, the first full day of the NFL season. And we'll be live at the Queen here in Baton Rouge. For that, the alternate weeks, second and fourth week, will be down at the Caesar Sportsbook down in New Orleans. So our football Sunday schedule is set for this year, and we certainly pass and Randy's picks along on those Sundays as well. Big Dog, good luck to you this weekend. Shoot me anything you guys get that we can pass along during the weekend as well.
Sounds good, guys. Good luck, everybody out there, and have a good weekend.
All right. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com for windows, doors, siding, and shutters. If they have interior shutters, exterior shutters. With the exterior shutters, designed for both beauty and durability. And look good, they last. That's a big deal, and that's what you get whenever you use any of the Relief Windows products. Our exterior shutters provide a classic, sophisticated look while offering powerful protection against storms, this harsh weather here in South Louisiana. So they're powder-coated aluminum for low maintenance, built to meet hurricane protection standards, impact resistance, and high wind rated, custom measured for a perfect fit, backed by a 2-year warranty, withstands extreme weather conditions, and available in Colonial and Bahama styles as well. Relief Windows, doors, siding, shutters. 288-8138, and reliefwindows.com.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're brought to you in part by Coastal Capital Advisors, because when it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike, no matter what your age or your income level. Coastal Capital Advisors will make the perfect decisions for you when it comes to your retirement. So talk to Phil Fontenot and his staff. They've done a great job for our family. They're going to tailor-make a plan, especially for you, because it's going to be a lifetime relationship that you have with them. Go to coastalcapitaladv.com, coastalcapitaladv.com. Remember FINRA SIPC. Keegan Bradley's up having his presser right now. They announced the Ryder Cup team earlier today. It's a pretty impressive, Cat, because he didn't pick himself today, and he certainly could have. He was justified in picking himself.
Kind of should have. I mean, but certainly could have. The distractions and all that, how much is that going to impact you? We don't know. I mean, a little bit, but to what degree? Nobody really knows. But this guy's popularity is shot out the roof. I'm listening to his opening statements, and he's talking about, you can see the golf tournaments where they kind of got behind him once they knew he was the Captain America and all that, and he says, man, I've really enjoyed it. He says that the fans have been great at the golf course, but not just at the golf course. I'm at the gas station. I'm in the restaurants. He says
he's easy to root for.
Well, now, what was he like before? He was not one of my favorites. He was just kind of like
he wasn't overly famous. I mean, I never had a strong opinion about him one way or the other. I mean, I knew who he was.
I was like, this guy, man. It doesn't. His popularity is shut out the roof, and this move to say I'm going to focus on the captaining of this, I think it just builds upon it. I think he likes it. He's done it. This you can't really. Nobody's going to kill him. He would have got criticized more for adding himself.
Yes, and any missed shot he would have made. And this would have been completely unfair, in my opinion. It would have been, was he distracted?
100%. It's, yes.
And he's no guarantee at his age to make another Ryder Cup team. So this is a really unselfish move by him.
And if he's not the captain, he's a slam dunk to make it this time.
If somebody else is the captain,
man. Mm-hmm. He's been clearly one of the best, and then he's won it. He's been hot lately too. Is he top 5 last week?
He was
top 10 or top 5.
Last 4 holes.
He was one of the lone threats for Fleetwood this past
Sam
week.
Burns made the team, so good for Sam.
He did it. We looked at it. It's been almost since the Masters. We thought it might have been 2 months, 2.5 months. You got to go all the way back to April. He's had a hell of a run because he was way out the picture. But his form is hot, and now he's played himself into it. So highly controversial pick last time. He rallied this time. Don't forget, over here at Modesto, game day specials are both for home and away games. So we start this week, $11 game day nachos and shrimp flautas, $4 Mexican bottles in high noons, $3 domestic bottles, $10 tomato tango wraps, and $8 jalapeno fries. That's games home and away. I'll spit it out, Charlie. We got to get a midseason full. We're excited. We got football.
Tomorrow we're at Walk-Ons right next door to here, and we will have football on tomorrow night. For Jimmy, for Max, Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Handiger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer.